I'm Nathaniel Doddridge, and this is my story. So I grew up in Benton, Arkansas, which is about 20 minutes south of Little Rock. Growing up in a divorced household is tough enough as it is, but both sides of the family were pretty volatile. You know, as a fifth grader, seeing the physical abuse, the verbal abuse, the addiction, the drug abuse, things like that were going on in my house, and coming home from a long weekend of spending the night in a hotel because we were trying to get away from some sort of bad situation, and you walk into your house and your clothes are sold. TV, everything that was in the house with any value was sold by my mom's boyfriend for drug money. And so a lot of challenges, a lot of volatility in relationships. But as I got older, the one thing I always kind of leaned into was sports. Getting a scholarship was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I thought that people were going to be knocking down my doors to get me to come play football for them or baseball, and lo and behold, I'm nearing mid-year through my senior year, and there's one university that has offered me a scholarship, and that university was Ouachita Baptist University. The family life was still extremely challenging. My dad was battling addiction at its worst level, and my mom's relationships were extremely tough still, and just some bad decisions and some bad things going on. And so in a time it's supposed to be really exciting, it was still tough to go off, but also I was pretty excited to get away. Yeah, so there was athletes, which I went to college to be an athlete. I didn't go to be a preacher like I presumed everyone else at this university went to be. Time after time, looking out in the hallway as I went to the community bathroom to see if that linebacker or that tight end or that lineman that was trying to share the gospel was in the hall, because I wanted to dodge them as much as I could, because I just wasn't ready to kind of go down that path in my life. I still had that aura about me that, you know what, just wait. I'm going to catch up, and I'm going to be the guy that I was back in high school, and everyone's going to flock to me. I'm going to set all the records. I'm going to be this guy that really shows you who I really am. God was continuing to chip away at me and to put me in these situations and start to show me that really all these things are going on around you, and I've protected you through all of these things. And so I was attending Bible studies with fellow tight ends and linemen on the football team, and the lineman who was leading that Bible study that night continued to talk through what Jesus did. I started to realize that I needed Jesus, and I needed Him in my life to save me from all of this, and just sick of fighting the fight and trying to be something I really wasn't. And so finally one night I went back to my room after avoiding all those conversations prior to that, and really fell on my knees and asked God to save me, and finally gave my life to Him that night. And that year I met my future wife, Mary, and I was a much different person at that time. She would tell you I was mean and gruff and rude and a jerk. I kind of was. She's one of the most loving, compassionate people. And the other thing that was attracted me to her was really her love for the Lord. That summer was really a turning point for me. My dad, who had battled addiction to that point, came to a point to where he went to rehab for the last time. He's been sober 19 years now. It's pretty amazing, and it's clearly God's provision that He pulled me through that, and He pulled my dad through that. It was pretty clear, and Mary will tell you, it was pretty clear that I was a different person. I wasn't perfect. I'm still not. Even though it was a Baptist university, there's still a fair share of some bad decisions that are being made, and so I slowly started to separate myself from that, and started attending the weekly worship service and really worshiping, to stand there and to have the desire to raise your hand and to worship during a song. I've never had that before. And so I became active in FCA. By my senior year, I was actually the leader of FCA, which Thinking back, I was a member of FCA in high school, but that was just to meet girls. Now I was actually a member of FCA because I wanted to learn about the Bible. I wanted to understand more about who Jesus was and what he had done. And we spent 10 years in South Arkansas, and get a random email from a recruiter, and they're like, hey, we have an opportunity for you to move to Iowa. That conversation started in March, and by August we were packing up our forever home. We were moving 9 hours away from everyone we knew. It was a scary thing, but the one thing we trusted in was in what Christ had and what God had planned for us. Just a few weeks after we got here, our two oldest kids were saved. God had a plan, and as long as we trust in him, he's gonna provide. Every day I wake up hoping to give everything I can for the glory of God, whether that's at work, whether that's with my wife, whether that's with our kids. And that's my goal every day, is to go to bed tired, knowing that I've put everything into this life and everything I can to show glory to God.